What's on your mind?
Um, I never met anybody like me that's been through what I've been through. That's still vibrating the way that I vibrate, the way I still show up for people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't want you to lose for me. You'll be my latest victim. Why would you wanna do that for me? Why you wanna do that?
I said,
Yeah.
mirror, mirror on the wall, all of a sudden wanna call.
Freshie. Can I say it like that? Freshie.
Yes, yeah.
Is there a different way that people say your name?
You said, is there a different way somebody says my name?
Uh-huh.
Nah, not really. Unless they completely butcher it.
Does that happen?
That happens a lot. Crazy.
So Freshie, what's your occupation?
Occupation. I was being an entrepreneur for a while. I had my own production company. But to be honest, I just got a lot of burnout. Um, and it wasn't that I wasn't making the amount of money that I wanted to make, but I just got burnt out. If you filming stuff all the time, you also got to allow for time to edit it and doing stuff for my own gigs and then doing stuff for other people. I just got tired, and so now I'm working senior sales management with AT&T, which is a great position. It allows me to fund everything else that I have going on, just create a little bit more balance. Especially when it comes to like mental health and just trying to catch back up with like the real life type thing.
Mental health, is that is that a thing that you kind of focus on just making sure you're good up there?
Yeah, I try to. One of the things that I struggle with a lot is anxiety and depression. I thought it was a seasonal depression, but I guess it's not. But the burnout definitely might trigger that a little bit more. And just the overall feeling like misunderstood my whole life, and not really getting clarity on like what I was feeling because my emotions were never really validated. It was kind of like swept under the rug. So I kind of had to learn a lot of lessons by myself. Uh, yeah, pretty much since I was a kid, which is kind of what got me into making music and writing to begin with as like an outlet. And I felt like I can't be the only one going through the things that I go through in my own life. So that's kind of what got me into the creative field of self expression, anyways.
What's your favorite uh, film director?
I
Who
don't
is
really,
your favorite film director?
okay. I don't really have a I don't really have favorites. Not that I don't support people. It's just I kind of take from what I see and kind of create my own type of vibes. I like Spike Lee. I like innovative stuff. I don't like people that keep recreating the same things that we've already seen. So just people like Issa Rae, that kind of slid into the industry kind of with her own lane already. I really idolize people like that because it's more so about freedom, freedom of creative expression, and those people that push the envelope, I really do validate. Like I really do appreciate what they do for the film industry and just creative energy in general. When I first got to college, I was thinking about going into journalism and creative writing and film. But the very first week or two of me being in class, really, they were just teaching us about people that thought outside of the box. And one of the things that I initially asked was just like, if we're talking about all the greats and the great creators or the great writers that don't follow the rules, why am I being restricted to work within the rules? It never really made sense to me. And once I realized, I have my own camera, once I realized I can write my own script, regardless of if I know the format to do it or not, if I have the urge to create something, I actually don't need the degree to do that. I just have to create something and then learn. So a lot of the things that I did learn, I was self-taught, and it was just out of curiosity. And once I do something, I like the challenges of it, but then I want to get better and better and better. I like seeing the personal growth. But I just don't believe in boxes, and that's as an artist, that's as a film producer, that's as a model, an influencer. I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. I never really wanted to do that. Then I also have more of a philanthropy mindset, so I don't disagree that you're gonna hinder your own success by putting other people on. I don't see it as competition. People and creatives, we aren't. There's no competition.
For real.
Like entertainment is entertainment regardless of the word. If you drop a movie tomorrow and I drop a movie tomorrow, they still gonna watch both the movies. Like, there's no competition. But what can I do to help you get to where you need to be at? And how are you gonna help me? And, even with that mindset of just always giving, you really realize a lot of people aren't gonna support you the way that you supported them.
Hmm. Okay, so let's stare in this mirror for a little bit. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? Now I want you to give this 10 seconds before you speak.
Okay. I would say one of the kindest hearts of people that I've ever met before. I would say
What's on your mind?
I never met anybody like me that's been through what I've been through, that's still vibrating the way that I vibrate, the way I still show up for people. And people see me out, they want the high energy person, but that's all they want. They don't check in when you're missing. They don't really care about your mental health. They don't care about anything but the product of what you are able to provide them with, the service that you're able to provide them with, the tickets that you can sell, but not the kind person, right? So that person's a very strong individual. But a lot of people don't see this version of me. They see the numbers. And then I attract the wrong people because the facade that they live life in isn't the facade that I live my life in. I don't live in a facade. I live in the reality. So this is the reality, you know what I mean?
To the person who doesn't know who you are, who is Freshie?
Freshie's a brand, the artist, an extension of who I am as a person. My actual name is Nakia Squire. I just figured out a way to brand myself in the entertainment industry with the artist aspect, but I'm a real person at the end of the day. If you want a loving individual that'll show up, if you want somebody that's always rooting for you, if you want somebody that's coming to you with good intentions, whether that's business, whether that's platonic, whether that's romantically, then I am that person. I give everybody 100%, and I really do want to see everybody win. But with that, I also come with my own baggage just like everybody else. So I think when people talk about their triggers and they talk about what causes anxiety, but what causes certain things, it should be taken in versus used against the person in order to manipulate them. Because a lot of people that are givers will continue to give even if they know it's not necessarily right to give, or that's not really needed because I give too much, but then I'm left empty. And those are things that people should be more cognizant about when it comes to trying to be with a creative person, but somebody that, again, has this self-reflection to tell you, I know what I have my own baggage of, and I know how to navigate that. Are you going to help me navigate, or are you just going to cause more of a burden to my life? And I think more people should have that self-reflection and self-awareness of themselves, because most of the time, good people fall into toxic situations based off of other people's toxicity.
Why are you so emotional about you being kind, you being this genuine person? Has somebody taken that and played with you? Like, do they throw that in the trash? Do they not care of how kind you are? Do they take advantage of that?
I think it's all a game until you're no longer around them. And then it becomes, let me manipulate everybody else's perception of who you are as a person. And then you find yourself lost inside the industry. And that's why a lot of people that I feel like that are successful end up, taking their own lives or what have you, because they lose themselves to Freshie, just the brand of Freshie, that they don't ever have the people that are grounding who they were born as, their actual name. And I'm very adamant about people calling me Kia that I'm in romantic relationships with, because I need to be grounded to who I am. But if the person that I'm dating is dating Freshie and not dating Kia, I'm already starting to lose. If everything that you're living life with me, you're experiencing as a brand, you're never going to get to know Kia. You're never going to be able to help Kia. And yes, a lot of people take advantage of that because they're used to other people that have bad intentions. Or we live in Atlanta, all the people that live in that facade, that Hollywood lifestyle, but that's not who they are at the end of the day, which is why platforms like this of self-reflection and honesty is important for me. And that's why when I write stories and I write songs, everything's relatable. It's not just going to be a bullshit story. Like, you're gonna learn something from whatever I create, and that's why my platform is as successful as it's been.
Childhood, how was that for you? You talked about dealing with anxiety in the beginning. Um, does that come from childhood, or like what was your experience as a child growing up?
So I'm actually in therapy now as of like February of this year, more consistently. I go every week, but we haven't really gotten to tap into like the childhood. But from based off of my personal experience and what has shaped me, I would say that neglect isn't that my parents didn't take care of me, that they didn't provide for my household. Again, it's more so about the emotional neglect. And I started writing letters to my mom when I was a kid, because me vocally speaking was never really understood. So that's where I actually started writing initially. So she would write back, whatever. But I'm just trying to find clarity. But some things just didn't hit.
So
Or
hold on, when you were talking to them, when you were being vocal, what were they just shutting you down, or like how
I,
did that go?
Okay, so I like to consume information, regardless of what it is. But I might ask you why, but it's not because I'm challenging your authority. I just really understand, like, make this make sense for me. And that was one of the very early things that I noticed. I'm gonna just stop asking questions. Then I'm gonna start sharing things. Well, let me just stop sharing things. Maybe what you're saying is more right than what I'm feeling, so I'm just gonna seclude myself. So I spent a lot of time in my room, more specifically in my closet, because that's where I made my music. And I learned how to mix audio. I learned how to find songs, download it. I used Mixcraft, Audacity. I just threw myself into the creative world and I taught myself everything. But I can hear myself now. So when I go back and I listen to music from, middle school or high school, it's like that same person is the same lessons I need to hear from myself now. So it was just, I needed to hear something. And so I've always had that message of, I want to make sure I'm always speaking to my inner self, because that's somebody else's inner self as well. And that was because of what I felt as emotional neglect from how I was raised.
Mhm. So when did you start like doing music?
Uh, Officially in 2006 is when I started doing music, and that was around the time that my grandmother passed, and we were very close. But again, that voice of reason, that light that I was looking for, I didn't necessarily have that light, so I just had to start creating my own. So when I get into my creative realm, when I listen to music, I really get lost in it, because it's about the story that the song is telling, or the story that my soul is telling me to make. So it's fun, but it's therapeutic at the same time. So 2006.
How old were you?
How old was I? 13.
Now, when you look back at childhood, are there any traumatic experiences that you went through?
Um, yeah, I think a lot of kids go through traumatic experiences, um, some of which I don't feel comfortable speaking on. But I will say, even just the acceptance of myself being in the LGBT community and having to face all of those challenges um, alone, alone, that shapes a layer of not resilience, but like, I have to protect myself. Yeah.
How old were you when you knew like I'm different?
Elementary school. I already could tell. I already had an attraction to like females or girls or whatever, but I couldn't. I didn't know what it looked like. I was raised in a Christian household, and again, military background. So the expectations, I couldn't even get clarity on that as well. So just trying to navigate those feelings as a child, like an actual child, and then getting into middle school, and it's like, okay, maybe there's other people that are also feeling this type of way, and honestly, we're all trying to figure it out together. Um, yeah, those built a lot of strong friendships. To this day, I have one of my friends from 2006. I'm best friends with them. We just had to figure it out. Yeah.
So when did your parents know about you? Like you like
I told them in between me going from 8th grade to 9th grade. So my transition from middle school to high school. But another thing I forgot to mention was being raised, I was in sports and I didn't mind that. That was my social outlet. But at the same time, I used that to not be at home because I wasn't very comfortable at home. And again, wasn't that they neglected like my safety, like they always provided in that aspect, but that emotional security is something I didn't have. So I did every single sport and I was good at it because I needed a reason to not go home. And I would go to the 6 a.m. practices and I would stay until 8 p.m. at night. Like I just, whatever I could do to not be at home, I used that as more of an outlet. And so that's how I developed a lot of my friendships. That's how I developed my social skills. If I'm always quiet at home, I'm going to be the complete opposite person when I go outside. So, cool. I'm going to bounce around the room, talk to everybody. I'm going to make sure everybody's cool, everybody's comfortable, everybody's taken care of. And we laugh. Like I want to laugh. I want to have a good time. I want to experience life. And those are where my highlights came from as a child, which is how it led me to, going to college, being a dual sport collegiate athlete, being a dual sport professional athlete, training with the Olympic bobsled and skeleton team. Like there's so many other aspects of my life that I just been good at it. I believe if I'm gonna give something 100%, I'm gonna give it 100%. But my social skills were I needed to do that, and that's how I've created a lot of my friendships, and even now maintaining some of the relationships that I have with people in every industry.
I love this. Your story is really deep. What are some of the, I guess, normal things that LGBTQ people go through? Like, what are some of the norms? Like, y'all deal with this on the regular.
I mean, just the constant hate and misunderstanding, or just the agenda that there's a gay agenda that we're pushing this on that person or what have you, or the idea of you're going to hell because you believe in you're a homosexual or what have you. And even with that, again, I challenge people's thought process in certain aspects. As a child, I was like, so you mean to tell me if I treat everybody good and I provide back to the greatness of the world that I'm gonna go to hell, but all of these other people that are doing actual bad things and killing people, whatever, they're not? How can a good person that does good things go to hell based off of the person that they're choosing to love, or that they not have to, but that's who I love? That it just didn't make any sense to me. And to me that felt like a box. I didn't want to have any association. So a lot of us end up not having as much of a religious background, or we take a religious break because that's one of the main fears that are instilled in you when you finally come out of the closet, or you're trying to express yourself to understand the closet that other people have put you in. That's one of the main things, and we still face some of those triggers as adults. And it's like, I'm 31 years old. There's no reason why you're trying to check me for who I'm marrying or who's in my household or what are you talking about? Go pay your bills and take care of your family, bro. Like, and yeah, like, man, it's just, yeah, it's a lot, but yeah, those are the main things.
So are you currently in a relationship?
No, thank God, but I want one. But
hold on, you said thank God, but I want one.
Yeah, I'm not in one because I felt like I didn't have bad habits in the sense of a partner, but I think I didn't have enough boundaries for myself, and I accepted things because I just wanted to be loved. I accepted things that I should not have accepted, which became a norm for me. But I know that those behaviors are wrong. Like I didn't know what red flags were before one of my relationships because I've never had to experience red flags from a romantic partner before. So I made excuses for a lot of things. So now it's more so about what somebody else might have conditioned me to feel like is normal isn't normal. And I should stand in what's kind of making me feel a little bit anxious. Why is this part of the conversation feeling like, why do I have to question everything that you're saying when I can have conversations with other people and I don't feel that tension? And now those are things that I look at when it is a romantic interest, when people are trying to reach out to me. It's like, well, what's your actual intention here? And how are you helping my life be better? Or am I just helping your life be better? So yeah, nobody wants to be single forever, but I'm not rushing for a relationship either.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. What are some of the, I guess, well, let me ask this before that. When was your last relationship? When was that?
I've been single for a year. Yeah, I've been single for a year. So last year was the ending of my last relationship. And to be very transparent, I've been able to get to a space of my own, yes, protection, but then also we can just talk about the elephant in the rooms. And I've gotten to a space that I'm able to be cordial with everybody that I've dated. And yeah, I don't want nobody to think that I'm over here just, cutting people off left and right or just this, that, and the third. But there's no like drama in my life. So when people try to enter my life, I'm very particular about who I'm actually letting in my life because I don't have any drama. You know what I mean? So
who broke up with who?
I left both times.
You left both times.
The last one was more so mutual. And she's a very private person, so I'd rather not talk too much about that. But we were just on two different life chapters. It's not that she did anything necessarily wrong to me or vice versa. It was, where she wanted her life to go and where I wanted my life to go just wasn't really aligned after X amount of time of us being together. So, yeah.
I want to go a little bit deeper.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to admit it. What are you addicted to?
Fixing other people's problems. Not that I feel like everybody needs a savior, but sometimes I overexert myself in everybody else's situation because I want everybody to win. On top of that, in my marriage, I ended up drinking more than what I would normally want to drink, and that's something else that I'm dealing with. It's not like I'm super much of an alcoholic in that aspect, but just having to get control over it because some things that end up becoming a coping mechanism isn't the healthiest outlets. So I would say overexertion, the excessive drinking that's calmed down so much more since I've removed myself from certain rooms. And honestly, I'm addicted to just the hustle of life and just the overall I gotta make it by any means necessary, but I gotta also make sure that my mental health is taken care of. Without that, I think I lose myself even more than I already did. But I don't think I have too many other actual addictions, to be honest.
Can you recall, and this is obviously if you want to speak on it, just a low moment in your life? Can you recall that time, and can you elaborate on it?
Yeah, I've had a few lows. One of them was just more of a boiling feeling of me being attached to something that was spiritually attacking me. And I've had suicidal thoughts before. I've had those moments where I've been triggered because of what other people have added to my life. That's aided to me getting to such a low space. And I think that's why it's more important to make sure I understand my own triggers and self-awareness to avoid situations like that again. But yeah, man, mental health is a real thing, and that's something I don't think everybody else is transparent about. which is why it's more important to get to know the person you're trying to pursue or that you're trying to align your life with, because some things just might not be compatible.
Give me a trigger.
I think everybody has a I don't really know how to put words behind it, because everybody's kind of gaslights everybody now anyways, but I don't know, like really just trying to make somebody believe something is not happening that's obviously happening. Some people that just want to take your word for things will know that you'll take their word for things, but then they'll literally gaslight you to make you believe, and they'll go as far as to plant things to prove their point. And I think just people not having accountability is one of the worst things that's destroying people, because you can just say, yeah, you know what, I was bothered and this is why I responded or reacted the way that I did, but instead you're trying to make it seem like I'm doing something that I didn't. I came to you with a problem, you know what I mean? Like I came to you saying that I feel some type of way about what you did, so how are you now spinning it back on me? That's a trigger. Calling me back to back, that's a trigger. Yeah, somebody that lives their life as honest as I am, I'm pretty much giving you the answers anyways. So when I start realizing that you're using what I'm telling you against me, then I'm probably not going to be present very quickly, that long. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to just head out, because that's not fair. I wouldn't do that to you, so don't do that to me.
And I think that stems back to what you said even earlier, just you being this kind person, you know what I'm saying? Like being this genuine person. And yeah, literally people taking advantage of that. I deal with that a lot because people don't believe us. That's what it is.
Right.
People don't believe that there's a person out here that's actually want you to do good, even if I don't know you.
Right.
You know, so I feel like we definitely relate in that way.
And I will say this, I will add to that. A lot of people that don't believe good people exist probably aren't good people.
No.
Because if I'm a genuine person, I know what I mean a genuine person. I don't have to question anything about you. Well, I don't have to question a lot about who I'm going to be meeting with or talking to. Like, I know you're not going to screw me over. I can see like the positive, just loving.
I can feel it.
Yes, it's an aura, you know what I mean? Like you can tell. So anytime I've ever questioned those type of characteristics of a person, they end up showing me who they are very quickly. And that again goes back to self-awareness, because now that I know what that feels like, I'm only willing to align myself with that type of person. And again, that's platonically, that's romantically, and even business relationships. When I looked around maybe like 2 weeks ago, and I said, I have to change my circle. I have to change the people that I'm with. I have to compartmentalize certain people, but I'm not going to grow to the next level if I'm still hanging around these energies that aren't really meant for me. And I meant the actual goodness of me, not like using me type of vibes. And I'm only willing to work with people that have this type of energy. It's easier. It's easier to love people. It's easier to understand people. It's easier to grow through life and support people that are genuine people. When other people aren't genuine, now you have an issue. If I come to you and I say, hey man, honestly, how you spoke to me really made me upset, a genuine person will receive that, and you can work through it, and you can keep moving on in your life. People that don't have that type of characteristics are going to blame you for them doing something that bothered you, and they never take accountability. That is a themed word for this year. But there's no growth in any aspect of your life with people that don't have accountability. Sorry.
Nah. Oh my gosh. Say that one more time.
There's no amount of growth that you're gonna have in your life with people that don't have any accountability. And the other thing is too, like, yes, man, right? Why you want to be around people that just only solely agree with what you have? To me, I think that's another red flag. I want you, like you said, if I'm doing something and I'm putting out a show, yes, I do want to know that it's good. Like, thank you. But like, okay, how can we get better? You can't just say everything that I say is a great idea because I have you here for your input on certain things. Like, you're supposed to help me make this better. Like, yes, I have the great intention, I have the idea, but like, help me make it better. And I just can't deal with the yes man people either. Like, you might just solely like it, or maybe you don't have the eye for things. I get it. But if you're always just agreeing with what I have going on, then that's a problem.
Thanks. Let's, I guess, let's talk about a moment when like the switch up happened, right? When you start realizing who you are. Did you always know who you were? You know that moment where you was like, "Yo, I don't care what y'all think about me. I'm me, and I'm gonna be successful. I'm the one."
So I've always felt like that, but again, there's certain people that came in and kind of made me feel like I wasn't who I thought I was, and that's when I did have the lowest of lows, dating somebody, and I was losing myself. I was losing myself to the point where I really was just only Freshie, and I'm only reacting to things as Freshie, that I'm losing Kia, and I lost that. I was suicidal. I cut myself. Everything. I was in a very deep emotional turmoil, and it's that you didn't have my best interest. You weren't protecting me, and then it became more so of like I've built my whole platform as my authentic self. I have my own fan base across different industries that know who I am as a person. I've always been my true self. So, if you can convince other people that I'm not a genuine person, y'all can have it. You can have it. Because I sleep well every night knowing I'm not screwing people over. I'm not using people. And at that moment, it was just I know who I am. And the more I started getting back to going fishing and, hanging out with my old friends, talking to my sisters more, like being more adamant about Nakia and not just the entertainment side of things, I started to slowly rebuild myself, rebuild my confidence, rebuild everything else, and create stronger boundaries because I know that that's a no. I know that I can't have this. I know that these things are going to pull me to a low space. So I just can't even be attached to it. That is when I was just like, yeah, I remember that's the bitch that I raised. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
that's who I remember. And then everything else started realigning. Like I said, I can go back and listen to music that I made in the 6th grade. I'm like, this still is the same messages that I'm saying now. I can look at my old films and I can say this is still the stories that I was saying back in the day. You know what I mean? So I started remembering myself a little bit more. And that has built a confidence of I really will not accept anything less than this ever again.
When did that happen?
Um, uh, I mean, quite a few years ago, and I just kind of had to readjust a lot in my life and just kind of focus on just myself.
Now, okay, so your music, it really focuses on the things that you personally go through. Um, you, so as far as the things you talked about cutting yourself, different things like that. Would you say you're extremely affected by your actual relationships, like the people that you date? Because it's one thing to be in this industry and deal with that bullshit, but like it's another thing to go back home and then you got to deal with that bullshit. Like is
Yeah. So I used to always say like the rest of my world can be chaotic, but home should always be home and peaceful. At some point that was not what I experienced. And because I wasn't used to that, I didn't know how to adjust it. And because my parents have been together for over 40 years. So I believe in love. I believe in, a long-term relationships, working out in marriage and things like that. But at what point is enough enough? At what point am I believing in something, but it's really not meant for me, or the timeline could be just wrong, or you haven't done enough growing on your own in order to have that type of relationship with me.
how
Okay.
do you be yourself and still be Freshie? Like
I think it's when the cameras aren't around, right? Who are your friends? What y'all do when the cameras aren't around, when you're not on stage? Like, what are those moments like? Uh, And another example, like before, I used to like pregame real hard when I go out to the club or whatever, and I'm about to, perform or whatever. Go out, have a good time, crash, go home, and you know what I mean, wake up late the next day. Now I'm older, so I'm smarter, but my energies are different. Sometimes maybe I don't want to pregame too much, and I don't want to listen to it's upbeat music. Maybe I want to listen to 2000s R&B before I go host, or you know what I mean. Like maybe this is what Kia needs so that I could do Freshie's job today. You know what I mean? Like, what are
Right.
those things? But if you're always constantly attaching like the or the industry standard of expectations of what you should be doing, you're gonna be taking L's all the time. Like you're gonna lose yourself. So I think it was very important and very adamant to just know, like, as a human being, what do I need in this moment to get my job done and handle the expectations that they're asking, even if it's unorthodox to everybody else, and solely listening to that, because nobody else can tell you what you should be doing right now. You have to be able to get yourself in a space of, man, you know what? I'm about to meditate real quick. Actually, I don't want to listen to any music at all. Like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes I just need to self-reflect, and that is very important. That saves me more than anything else, is self-reflection.
Is there any preparation to get to that, Freshie, or can you just turn that thing on and off?
I could pretty much turn it on and off. I think that there's certain rooms though, like if I've been working with certain people, I can kind of tell the crowd, or I know what type of environment I'm about to walk into. So then, yeah, there are some other different types of preparations in those moments. But for the most part, I could pretty much turn it on and off, or I'm acknowledging it, right? So when I did my Women Crush Wednesdays open mic and karaoke events, I opened it up to everybody. But it's such a engaging crowd and audience experience that everybody would know, like, hey, I would say, honestly, y'all, I'm tired today. I don't have it in me today. I need y'all's energy to help me get through the show as well. And respectfully, we had a great time. So I'm very transparent about where I'm at mentally, or what I need, or what I can do, but we're going to have a good time either way. You're going to enjoy yourself either way. But, in certain environments like my own, I can be a little bit more honest and transparent about those things. And we also have a good time. And other spaces, that's my responsibility to do that in private before I get on stage and do what I'm supposed to do. When I come, to interviews, and when I come to different type of events or whatever that I'm booked for, making sure that when I walk in the door, I'm the person that they're expecting to show up. But if I really don't have it, I'm gonna tell you, I really just don't have it, because that's unrealistic expectations sometimes. So
Right.
I'm human.
Facts. We all go through this. Now, do you get motivated off positivity or negativity? Like what drives you?
Both of them. But I think too much negativity is a problem. Too much of anything is a problem. But both. If you tell me I can't do something, I'm gonna just go do it. If you try to make it seem like I need you to do this, I'm gonna just not do it with anybody else but me and just do it by myself. Like, I will figure out a way to get it done. So the disbelief that people might have in me, that always drives me. But most of it is stemming from, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I have my own positive outlook when it comes to the things that I'm doing. And I think that's more important. So when other people are here pouring into me, respectfully, you're supposed to be pouring in positive energy as I will pour into you. But if you need to check me, you can check me if I respect you. If not, just don't. Just keep it to yourself. Yeah.
So, can you, like, all right, say if I'm just a random person, right? You never met me, and I just come up to you and I'd be like, yo, I think you should try a fro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you accepting that, or I don't know you, nigga. Like, who? They'll come up to me.
I'm super approachable in that aspect. All right, cool. Maybe. I'm nice when it comes to stuff like that, but if you're trying to come and tell me how to live my life, then it's just like, you don't even know me to even speak on it. What you're thinking that you see online is not everything that's happening in my real life. So in that aspect, I feel like people are stepping out of line. You're going off of either your perception of somebody else's life that you're not fully around, or somebody else's perception of my life. So you don't have the authority to try to read my life when you don't know what's really going on. So those are the things that I would probably shut it down. I've kicked people out the club before because they were harassing me about my own life. Like, and I'm the person that tries to save everybody. You know what I mean? Like, if you're doing something at the club when I'm hosting, I try to make sure the security guards and stuff like that don't bother you. So for me to kick people out the club is like, now you're really like starting to press that level of, you're really about to piss me off, or you're just disrespectful. You know what I mean? So I need to create a boundary. And the more popularity that you have, the more crazies that you also have. So being able to be self-aware with those moments is just like, yeah, sometimes you got to go. And I've learned that as well. So
that's real.
I don't hate you guys, but you still got to respect people's personal space in their lives. You know what I mean?
Speaking of respect, what do you respect about yourself?
That I'm still here. honestly that I'm still here, because had I not lived through the things that I thought were going to kill me, I would never have understood what the other side felt like. I didn't realize that a lot of people weren't dealing with anxiety and depression and other mental health issues, so that their perception of what my life is going on isn't what's really happening. They can't understand it. They don't know what I'm dealing with. So just I love that I'm still here, that I'm still going, and that I haven't allowed anybody to destroy, my core self. I'm proud of that.
Did you say you were married?
Yeah, I was married. I'm not
Yeah,
married. Yeah.
like you got married. Okay.
hmm
How was that? And I do want to know the process of that, because you were married to a female. I'm assuming, correct?
Yeah.
Right. What's the process for that? Is that a difficult process?
Nope. Just like everybody else. Georgia, when we got married, Georgia was accepting of gay marriage or what have you. So same thing. We got to get the officiant. We got the fill out the paperwork for the wedding certificate and all that, or the wedding license, the marriage license, and just picked up from the courthouse. We had a wedding at Piedmont Park, ceremony at Piedmont Park in the gazebo. We were married.
How long were you married?
We were together for 4 years, married for 2.5. Well, technically 3 if you count the divorce as well. So,
name 3 people that you treasure the most.
Name 3 people that
3
I
key
treasure the
people.
most.
Not including your parents.
That's kind of hard, because dealing with what I dealt with the last 5 years, I feel like a lot of people showed up for me in ways that I wasn't expecting. But without any type of order, I would say that me getting a stronger relationship with my sister. She's a good person. Every time I go home, I hang out with her, and we talk all the time. And then my friend from middle school, I would say her, and then my best friend Ken from Charlotte, North Carolina. So I would say Kiana, Tay, and Ken would be my top 3 right now.
Is there anything that you regret in life?
That's a good question. I would still say no. Even the things that I didn't necessarily do right, or maybe the rooms that I might have misread or what have you, it's a learning curve. I don't think I would have learned the same lessons had I not went through what I went through. And then again, I'm 31 and I'm in a very good, strong mental space, and I understand what I'm looking at a lot better now. So I think if I did anything differently, I might still be in a couple of little sinkholes that I'm happy I kind of got out of.
Do you have any mentors?
No. I used to. But people have facades up. And so what you're mentoring me on, you're not taking your own advice. So I can't really fully believe everything that you're saying either. So I'm going to just hold off and let me just figure out what I'm feeling. And I started seeing common themes. I'm really big in sociology. So I started seeing common themes in people, bad situations. I started watching, I really don't like reality TV, like the actual fighting stuff, but I watch dating shows online. And even though some of that stuff might be fake, it's still people are really having conversations like this in real life. And what's the outcome when people try to handle it? So I try to self-solve a lot of situations and just have self-reflection from consuming information around me, so that when I finally got into therapy, it's okay, cool. Now I'm happy that I've learned the lessons that I've already learned. Now I just got to figure out how to navigate everything else. So, yeah.
Let's look in the mirror again and reflect. When you stare at yourself, honestly, are you happy?
Yeah. I would say I am. I think the only thing that would make me not feel like I'm happy right now is just because I'm not where I think I'm supposed to be at. But I'm not stressed out about no bills. I'm not stressed about no people. Everything in my life is coming together. And that's the core of everything. Finding myself again, that's the core of everything. Having a strong mental balance, that's the core of everything. So I can't say that I'm not happy. I think the other things in life is what will cause that feeling of, okay, I'm not married, I don't have kids, like that, I'm not where I need to be at in my career. Those are just that's not the core of who you are as a person. So yeah, I can make excuses for things I don't have, but at the end of the day, I'm vibrant. I'm happy in that aspect. So yeah.
What are some daily repetitions that you can give to the people, like for you to just stay focused, stay locked in?
What are things that I do daily to stay locked in?
Yeah.
Again, I self-reflect. I play a lot of uh, mind games or brain games just to try to strengthen everything. But let's say I have this conversation with you or this video, this interview. When I drive home, I'm gonna reflect about it, how I felt about it. When I get into disagreements with people, I self-reflect on that. I think, and then if I owe somebody an apology, I'll give them an apology. You know what I mean? Self-reflection is one of the best things that I do on a day-to-day, if not multiple times throughout the day basis. And that's probably one of the more consistent things. I talk to people that give me good energy and that I can hang out, and we can hang out. Whether you're going through something or I'm going through something, we still can make sure we both have a good time. So just being more adamant about that and taking time out for myself and not letting anybody disturb my peace.
Shit, you hitting it on the money. I ain't gonna lie, you ain't missing. I can tell you reflect because it's just rolling off the tongue. Like it ain't even no stutter. It's just going. You going.
Yeah.
I love this. I love it. All right. So you said you're 31. Let's go back to that 20-year-old younger you. What advice can you give to her?
20-year-old. I gotta think about what I was doing at 20. Hold on.
Let's go even younger. Let's go 15.
I've had this conversation with myself before. It's more so of like, just keep believing in you. You know, just keep whatever you set your mind out to do it. Don't let people talk you out of it or convince you differently. Stay strong into that aspect of doing whatever your heart desires and still give it 100%. That would be the same advice that I did give myself, that I would still give myself to this day. And then 20-year-old, I think I was still competing sports wise. Say yes to everything. Like say yes to everything until you say no. But just be very cautious about the people that you let into your circle, that you allow in your life, that you give your energy to, because everybody's not deserving of it.
When you say yes, you mean like experience shit, like go out.
Yeah, I've been skydiving. I did a whole bunch of stuff. But yeah, just life is for the living.
Try shit.
Hmm?
I said just try shit. You know what I'm saying? Like just do it. Yeah.
Don't be too closed off about certain things. Just live life.
Freshie, you got anything that you want to talk about, dive into? You said a lot, you gave a lot, and I know that's literally what you said you are, and you did that. Is there anything that you want to kind of speak on?
Last year when I dropped my album, it's called The Rebirth, and I had a mohawk, but I cut my mohawk off because...
I remember you. That's where... No, for real. That's how I remember you. The mohawk. Yes, that's crazy. It just hit me. Because didn't you have another color too? Was it pink or something? Or
it was more like an oranger color.
Orange. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, so I had the mohawk, but again, it was attached to not my older self, but like a different chapter in my life. So when I created The Rebirth, I was cut the hair off, start over. Fully experienced the rebirth experience, and the album that I created was Afrobeat. It was all upbeat music for the most part because I wanted to tap into, the sound for the UK audience that I have, the sound for the African artists audience that I have. So I wanted to do a little bit of everything for some people, but I really wanted to create an album that just had feel good music, upbeat feel good music. That's what I listen to, and I do listen to music, and so I was writing the album for a while. But I'm like, this isn't the songs that I'm supposed to be making. And I went in the studio with my engineer, and he played a couple, and then he played a couple more. I was like, wait, go back to the other one. And then within 30 seconds, I had the hook for the song. And it's called My Piece. And when I toured last year, every city that I went to, every platform that I went on, I said the same message. Your piece is your own to own. Don't let anybody take that away from you. Don't let anybody destroy your piece. Your piece is your own to own. And that's the main message that I want to continue to promote to people for the rest of my life. Because once I learned that for myself, there was no going back. And that entire song is a self-affirmation song that I listen to in the morning time. I listen to it if somebody disturbed my peace just a little bit. I listen to it again to recenter myself. And I think that that's a song that everybody should listen to because it is, again, a daily self-affirmation that your peace is your own home.
We good. How you feel?
Great.
All right, do me one favor now. Look back in that mirror. Do you let's actually do a live reflect.
Okay.
Since doing this, and you can be fully transparent and honest, how do you feel now?
I feel good. I feel relieved. It is a safe space in here, so it makes it a lot easier to open up and be vulnerable. But again, I'm proud of myself because being authentic and telling your story, but also being able to articulate it in a way that can be received by everybody else. Yeah, it's just showing the growth that I've had. And people can't take that away from me either. So, yeah, I feel good.
I feel good about this too. And you definitely opened up. Like you got me. I'm not gonna lie, because even when I asked her, I was like, yeah, you gonna open up? She was like, yeah, I got it. Like, so calm about it. Like, this what you do, and I love that. And I'm glad I've seen this. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, we're closer now, because a lot of what you said I actually resonate within myself. Like, a lot of what you go through, I go through. Dealing with just being a good person.
Yeah.
That comes with a lot. People don't understand that. That comes with so much, because they're so used to other people not being good that they automatically think you're not. So.
And I think in a sense, it gives me a sense of healing to be able to connect with people, right? It's different when you're trying to force a connection, but life is like not a prison. So if you own your honesty, you live in a more free space. And I don't have an issue with talking about my actual life because you can't take that away from me either. So what am I ashamed about? Sharing it and connecting to people, real people, it makes me feel even better about myself and my brand and what I'm doing to put into the good of the world. So I don't mind using my testimony, my vulnerability to connect and relate to people or save lives, because I've heard that as well.
I'm glad you get it, because you literally just said what this show is about. It's about being vulnerable. It's about throwing it out there and just letting people know, like, man, we all deal with this, in different ways, obviously. Everybody has their own story. But we all deal with holding that in. And people don't understand what it does when you let it out.
Yep.
You help so many people. You're about to help a lot of people. So I want to say thank you so much.
Welcome.
Clap it up for Freshie. Baby, stand up, man. I'm gonna come give you a hug. Hugs. Oh, good hugs. All right. And appreciate you. Thank you for us, locking back in. Like, I definitely remember you. Like, I don't want to say, I don't know where though.
Because we had, I had hit up Bonnie and she had told me to reach out to you about the R&B stuff. But when I went out to reach out to you, I saw that we had talked in like 2021.
Yeah,
and I don't remember where it was, but yeah, we met. I can't remember either.
Yeah, because I'm like, but once you said the Mohawk, I was like, oh yes, that's how I remember her.
Yeah.